the value of these imports has also increased from about $40 million at the onset of the century to about $150 million now, meaning that the price of wheat has actually been rising, because that's the explanation you get there. If you look at the international prices themselves, they are actually increased from about a 14.6% increase in 2020. It increased to 20%, mainly because of COVID. But now we are at 34%. And this is because of the war between Ukraine and Russia, as you will later appreciate. If you could move. In that pie chart, we can clearly see that about 53% of our wheat is actually got from two countries. Can we remove these? No, let's just move them. Thank you very much, Honorable, and I apologize for that. What you see in this graph is the relevancy of those two countries to our relationship with wheat as a country. And it also magnifies the challenges we are facing because of the fight. Of course, one of the issues that we not capture in this pie chart is the opportunities of other countries. Because whenever there is a shock, there are countries that are taking advantage. So Canada and others, but to date, that's where we are. If you could move. If you could move. Okay. Another chart for us to look at is the prices. If you look at December 2021 and June 2022, you can clearly see that in the last 6 months, the prices have already doubled, even more. And the forecasts of key reported documents of the World Bank show that this is expected to continue up 2023. Now, this gives us an opportunity. And it actually, and I'm excited that Minister of Trade is in this room, it actually just confirms that the opportunity to import replace is big and will continue to move. Next slide, please. What do we use the wheat for? I think if I'd gotten an opportunity to take the picture of the display behind, I'm sure it would be better. But I want to speak to this bread which looks like a tortoise. Actually, that is not a tortoise, but it's bread. But it speaks to one thing: innovation. Innovation. Imagine that presentation. Wouldn't it strike anybody? And normally, whenever there is a shock, when COVID came, people were very fast to innovate. All of us went to Zoom. Some of us grew up thinking that you only put off masks when you are in an hospital and there's a theater activity. But now we are putting them on. So again, this emphasizes the point that these commodity prices, the increase in wheat prices, have given us an opportunity to to continuously innovate around them. And I'm sure the discussion of today would be able to guide us on what more do we need to do to take our innovations to the next level. But second also, if you look at most of those products, they are mainly targeting the urban person, not the rural person. But two, there is a certain age group that is most likely to participate in consumption of these products. And again, it's an opportunity. We're a very young country. So the demand and market for these products actually exists. If you could move. Yes, so what are the drivers of the big consumption of wheat? There is a study of done by Economic Policy Research Center that explains that actually the biggest drivers of the wheat that we eat is first because of urbanization. We are urbanizing at 5% per annum. You're creating, towns everywhere, even in remote areas. Two is that there is a lot of changing tastes and preferences. Mainly, especially now that we have a lot of young people, it's very hard now to get a young person to eat katogo in the morning. But it is very easy for them to eat bread. Again, these are realities. Increase in incomes, that's true. And maybe that explains why in most of these urban areas you see a lot of pastry shops, but very few of them in rural areas because of income levels. It also confirms that the challenges related with increase in prices of wheat are likely to be felt more by the urban-based consumer than the rural person. And this is a little bit very consistent with the very common statement of the president of Eat Cassava. I think it resonates very well with the rural community, but maybe not very well with Kampala and urban areas. There is a lot of substitution going on, and I've learned more even today. I'm sure I will learn more. Coming out of matoke, sweet potatoes, maize, rice, and a few other things, especially products where we can get carbohydrates from. If you could move. Again, what substitutes do we see? First of all, we have some domestic production of wheat going on. The statistics we have is 25 metric tons per annum production. And these are basically producing varieties of coming from narrow, 1, 2, and 3. But there are issues around competitiveness of this locally produced wheat. What do I mean? How do you produce wheat that is locally in Uganda at a cost much lower than the wheat that is imported? Because that is still a challenge we are still facing. But I'm sure in this discussion we'll be able to unlock it. We see products like the toke baking flour. I've seen it this morning, coming out of matoke, cassava, and I think the variety of narrow cast one is actually doing wonders in ensuring that we drive mass production. The question still in the room is, we need volumes of cassava. We need volumes of matoke. We need volumes of millet, because the consumption of these products is actually much more. And the other innovation that I've had is that actually there are people trying to also come up with animal feeds. Now, where a human being would take a half a kilogram of bread, and a cow might take 20 or 30 of an equivalent quantity, implying need even to produce much more volumes for them. There is need for high quality cassava flour. I think this has been mentioned to a number of the consumers, especially in the brewery, but also in the millers. I think Windwood millers can affirm to this. There is need for consistency in the taste of these branded products. I don't know how many of us have tasted chapati made out of a blend of wheat and maybe another thing. It's not so easy to say it to Mtuawansi. The moment they hear that you've put muogo, they start saying, hey, so you're selling me muogo, and yet I want chapati, you know? So we need to do something around that area, in addition to improving competitiveness. If you could move. This is my last slide. What areas do we need to focus on? I do believe that if we are able to discuss some of these areas, we most likely might have answers to that take us forward. First of all, the opportunities. But how do we harness and foster the research and development that is required to exploit the available opportunities because of the shock that we are seeing? Second one is, how do we make sure that we are a competitive, low-cost producer of wheat in Uganda? How do we improve that mindset issue that actually chapati made out of muogo is not chapati but muogo? You know, how do we change that for a consumer to actually know that it's just chapati, it tastes like other products, and all the other pastry products that we're talking about? How do we continue to harness these opportunities to create value, especially for our young people and young women? I'll be excited to see that maybe in the near future we are able to track people on the street doing Rolex out of a blend of maize and wheat. Would be interesting, wouldn't it be? How do we ensure that we get the volumes? We need to avoid a situation where you're given an order and you switch off your phone, because this person wants, I think the cassava people talked about 100 tons per day. How do we get these volumes? That was my last slide, and I hope I set the tone. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Eric. Thank you very much, Eric, for that display and information sharing session and tone setting session. We are going into the next session. I would really want to have a longer session on the discussion, so I'm trying to rush us to go through the next session, which is testing and showcasing cassava wheat blend products. May I add, Chair and invited guests, that we may not just have cassava and wheat blends. We are having toke blend. We are having rice blends. We are having cassava blends. So allow me, as we go into this next session, to guide as follows. I'm going to request the chair and the CEO to lead us in the gallery walk for testing. And I'm going to request, as requested by the chair, that the video this time moves along so that then the other invited guests can also go and see. But we want the online guests to see what is in the house. So without further ado, I'll request the chair and the CEO to come along. Thank you. We'll start with the cassava.
Before we start with the cassava, I don't know if you have all understood what is going to happen, because I haven't. So what is happening now? Are we having our break? Because
Yes.
isn't it a bit premature? Shouldn't we know a little bit before we go out to test?
It's a very long
What do
session.
you, because this is a discussion. What do you prefer? That they tell us the theory, so that when we get out, we know what we are eating? That is what I would prefer. So can we give everybody who has got a display table 2 minutes to tell us about your display and invite us, tell us what we are going to eat. In other words, make your pitch. Who goes first?
I would request we do the value chain from the cassava.
That's okay if they have a display. It doesn't. No, they first tell us, then they invite us to the mdala. Like Rono Jamchkubo, Yitira Koko Namba Mukaga. So can I request that if you have got a display table, you please come here and tell us about what you are displaying, so that when we are there, or when we leave here, we take a beeline to your stall. Who wants to go first?
Farm Uganda.
So, it has your name and tell us what you are mixing and where it is.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm called Twesiga Sosim. I'm the CEO of Farm Uganda. Farm Uganda, we are an agro-processing company whereby we partner up with smallholder farmers, especially the young girls between the age of 18 and 35, to grow for us the required cassava and maize. We are based in the Andogo district. And after growing cassava for us and maize, through a forward contract, they sell to us. Then we add on value to that cassava and maize. We've got a cassava dryer. It is called a batch dryer that we import from China. That dryer, the process is, after the farmers have delivered to our factory, we do the sorting, we do the washing, we do the peeling. After peeling, we do the washing 3 times. Then we do the sorting again. Then we've got what we call a chipper. We put that cassava into a chipper. It chips it into small pieces that are loaded now on trays. These trays are food-grade trays that we push into the dryer. The dryer is automated. Then we set on the dryer. Within a period of 4 hours, we have gotten dry chips. And those are what we call high-quality cassava dry chips. After that, then we mill. We use a hammer mill with a 0.5 millimeter sieve that we can get the most beautiful texture of the flour. Then, after milling, we do packaging to the standards in laminated bags that don't allow in the moisture content absorption of that and the contamination. And this is a high-quality cassava flour.
Thank you.
That can replace wheat, and then you can consume it in the confectionery industry and other industries. I submit.
And the wheat is here. Is your wheat? Sorry,
yes, it is the first table where you are going to see our processes.
Repeat your company name again.
It is called Farm Uganda, based in Chiliandongo district. So you are most welcome to there.
Chiliandongo is outside. Who wants to go next? Two minutes. Go ahead.
A very good morning. My name is Joel Rubambewany from Winwood Millers, Uganda. Winwood Millers is a private limited company by shares, founded in 2009 by the late Ivan Okori.
Sweetheart.
Yes. May his soul rest in peace.
Okay.
Yes, so basically what we do, we have an industry in Lira. We process cassava. We are working with close to 1,500 rural farmers, of which 70% of them are women. We buy fresh cassava roots from them, and then we process them, and then we into cassava flour, and then we supply a number of industries and factories, including Hot Loaf Bakeries, Uganda Limited, and a number of other industries as well. Yes, and then we also sell locally to other people. I think with time you will hear from one of our beneficiaries as well.
And
so
your
with
flour,
us right now,
your
we
flour
have-
is outside.
Yes, we have our cassava flour on the table. We have bread made out of cassava. We have cake made out of cassava, and we have
Okay,
samples.
let us concentrate in your area.
Yes.
How much flour do you produce per day?
How much flour we produce per day?
Because if I'm a baker,
Yeah.
I'm interested only in how, if I can get my flour from you and if you can sustain the volume.
Yes. So basically, we can do up to about between 5 to 10
Kilograms?
tons.
Oh,
Yeah.
5 to 10 tons per day.
Yeah.
Do you work every day, including Sunday?
We work every day, but right now, there are also other technicalities. For example, right now, if
Uganda.
Yes. Yes, we work every day.
Thank you. Winwood
Yeah, Winwood Millers,
from Lira.
From Lira.
Thank you.
Yes.
Farm Africa, you did not Farm Uganda did not tell us the tonnage you produce per day. Because if I'm to bank on you, I've got to know your capacity.
Farm Uganda, we can produce 6 tons of flour per day.
So between
If
that two,
electricity we've talked about in Chidiandongo is not a menace.
technicalities. Thank you, Winwood. Thank you, Farm Uganda. Just come. It is a discussion, a talk. Where are the women? Why must you always be at the back? So after him, I see a woman.
Yes. I'm representing the woman who is there, Frederick Worrell from Oga. Just wave to them. Yeah, my name is Frederick Worrell from the brand name called Oga. Oga, it is simplified. For us, it's a total replacement of wheat. If Russia and Ukraine did not cease, we shall have a good substitute. And thanks to our partners, that is National Agricultural Research Laboratories in Kawanda, and also Makerere University Food Science. You will find us on our table, which is right in the middle of the aisle at the back. We produce pumpkin-based products. Our baking flour, which is zero wheat, gluten-free baking flour, is made of cassava, pumpkin, and rice. And our pumpkin is whole with its cover and the seeds all are milled together. So we have samples of our cakes for you to eat and see that you cannot miss a cake which is not made of wheat. And they are in different varieties, if you let us know. We also have another variety which is made from matoke and sorghum and also pumpkin. But we've only carried a few samples for you to see in terms of the flour. We are a research and product development company. And so for us, at the moment, don't ask us about the volumes in tons. We are still small and trying to get people to appreciate that you don't need to add a certain spoon of wheat to get that consistency. Ours is 100% zero wheat. So visit us at Oga. Thank you so much.
I can't wait. Thank you, Oga.
I hope it's still good morning. My name is Lucky Teddy Naviru.
Can you move there, back there, far from everybody, and take off your mask so that they can see you?
My name is Lucky Teddy Namubiru, the production manager, Michaela's Foods and Beverages Limited. We stand on the brand of Michaela's Oven. Most people know us as Michaela's Oven. We are showcasing so many things. One of them is gluten-free bread, which consists of cassava flour, rice flour, and corn flour. And then we have what we call gluten-free brown bread. It has cassava flour, rice flour, corn flour, and millet. And then we have banana gluten-free cake, carrot gluten-free cake. A gluten blend for Michaela's consists of cassava, rice flour, and corn flour. And then we have other products for bread. We have 50% cassava bread, 50% wheat flour bread. And then we have 50% millet flour and 50% wheat flour bread. We have a variety of cookies. We have gluten-free blend that is for Michaela's, cassava, rice, and corn flour. So we have lemon, gluten-free cinnamon, gluten-free vanilla, gluten-free coconut, different flavors. And then we have gluten-free cake. We brought it in cupcakes. Then we have gluten-free buns. Then we have gluten-free brown buns as well, the blend of Michaela's, that is rice, cassava, and corn flour. Thank you.
No, before you leave, Ugandans don't know how to preach. We don't even know where you are located. Where are we going to find this gluten-free? And maybe a scientist to explain the gluten-free in at least 1 minute. Now, are you here? Yes, please go.
Michaela's oven is located in Nagulu, opposite police headquarters, Katalima Road, just Nalu complex behind. That's where Michaela's oven is, and we always have these products in stock. We also do sugar-free, gluten-free. Thank you.
Thank you. So now somebody will explain for you. Take the microphone. Take the microphone. I will sanitize you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rebecca. I just want to explain, every time, even bakers, some of them say, gluten, what is that? Gluten is that protein that we all yearn for that is in wheat. It's that protein that causes the elasticity, that when you eat bread or cake that is not made well of fine gluten-free flour, you will sense that you're eating either a block of something funny that is related to cake. So gluten, it's a protein that is found in most of the cereals, especially wheat. So when you say gluten, it's that other protein that we who are in gluten-free processing blend quite a number of flours to make sure that we mimic that protein. Thank you.
Now can hear from Mrs.
Good morning. My name is Eseza Airo, Mama Cassava. I'm a cassava farmer. We've been in production for 15 years. And we've started value addition. So we have porridges for babies. I would request government, for example, Ministry of Disaster, they take our porridges for the refugees and the babies. We have a cake for private sector out of cassava, and cookies and other things. Thank you.
Thank you. All those are supposed to be tested by everybody, and you are supposed to invite us to your mdala, but you have not even said where the mdala is.
My mdala is behind there, then I have cassava outside.
And what is the name of your mdala? You are who?
Airo Cassava Growers and Processors Limited.
Where?
We're in Busoga and Teso, and we have an office in Kampala.
Thank you.
In Namgongo. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Brenda Nakazivu from Science, Technology and Innovation. Honorable, allow me say this. In addition to the foods that we are putting out on the market, indeed very gluten-free, very important. Actually, some of us ran away from wheat long time ago, checking our weight and our health. Now, there is another opportunity that science presents, and amongst you, they are researchers. The opportunity is on many other products, but also pharmaceutical grade starch. And at Science, Technology and Innovation, we're already working with PIBIT, now Burdick, to work on pharmaceutical grade starch from matoke. but we've not actually had scientists come to work with us on pharmaceutical grade starch from cassava. So it's an opportunity. And Mr. Maku there, we've worked with him for the National Science Week. He will share with you my number, and it's something we can talk about. So I just wanted to present to us another opportunity in addition to the foods. Once again, this is the face. Thank you.
Next. Go ahead. Yeah. What is the spray? Who took it? Who took the spray? Who needed the spray and took it? Oh, you put it down? I got a mess.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Gochali Ansareko. It's nice to have you all here. I'm from Ntake Bakery Company Limited as the general manager. Ntake Bakery Company Limited, we have a wheat flour milling plant. We make over 500 tons of wheat a day. We push on that wheat to the bakeries. We have 6 branches in Mbale, Lira, Masaka, Jinja, and Mbarara. We employ over 5,000 people, young men and young women at all levels. We train. We have been a path to very many young people who have moved from Ntake through internship, through work experience, to making their own bakeries. You've seen very many cake shops. Some of those people have been trained by Ntake. Ntake has grown, has been around for, now it's coming to over 40 years. The employment, and Ntake has plans to work with some of the companies, some of the innovations that have come up. I'm seeing matoke, cassava. We would like to bring the prices down, and the one way of doing that would be partnering with the cassava people, the matoke, and Ntake loves working with what you would call omuntu wa wansi, being able to deliver to them. Yes, we love the corporate, and we are trying to get into that market, but omuntu wa wansi is our main target. Thank you very much.
Oh, just a moment. Do you have a stall? Is there bread?
Yes, of course. We have our stall. As you can see, kaswa, it's our home baking flour. Those who love to bake at home, those who love to make mandazi, those who are starting up bakeries, it's one way to start. You use kaswa, or you can use our commercial, the 50 kg bag, 25 kgs. We make right to the cakes, a wedding cake, party cakes, simple cakes from 40,000. Unlike the very expensive cakes, we start, like I said, omuntu wa wansi.
And those cakes are here?
Some of them, yes.
Okay, we shall enjoy. Thank you, Ntake. Next.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Psfu. I'm from the Presidential Initiative on Banana Industrial Development. And we are mainly based here, and the members here in Bushenyi. We had a 2-minute clip. I don't know whether it has been downloaded so that it can be run.
Not now.
And not now. But we are dealing with the banana as a crop and looking not only at the fruit, but looking at it from the integrity of it. Because we are looking at the leaf in terms of direct carbon capture. So it is contributing in this country with the spread of the crop to contribute to capture carbon from the atmosphere. The other aspect is that we have the products, we have been able to model a platform to add value to the banana crop. And this one is bringing in a number of stakeholders, especially the banana farmers, who are really engaged in the production of the raw materials that we process and get products like flour, which are categorized into instant and raw flour. And then from the raw flour, we get secondary products like biscuits, bread.
So I'm more comfortable if we listen to that clip?
Yes.
Okay, you can now keep quiet. Put the volume, please. Volume.
And start it. It is 2 minutes only.
Thank you. I don't know about you, but my appetite is rising by the presenter. Next.
Good morning, everyone. I'm called Juliet Navagesla, and I'm representing Churat, an incubation center. We are incubating people in all fields of agriculture. Now we are expanding. We've come to this industry of bakery. We are doing a thickener from sweet potato. We are using Nansport 13. I'm going to be somewhere there for those who want to see how beautiful the product is. You're going to come and you check me out. It's a very good product. We are drying it with standard dryers, 65 degrees, to maintain its quality and the color. It's really good for those people who are doing cookies and those who are doing cakes. You don't need to add in the colors to get the orange color in your product. It's just a natural color from the sweet potato we have. And also it reduces on the sugars we use in our bakery products, where you have to add 3 spoons of sugar. When you use sweet potato and you add it in your flour, you're going to use 1.5 spoon of sugar. Just because for the sweet potato for it is already having the sugars. So we are doing that to help on the bakery and also to keep the Ugandan healthy. Thank you very much.
No, just wait a moment. Because she's a Ugandan woman, her pitching is not there. Can you say exactly what Churat does?
Churat is an incubation center. We're incubating people. We are telling the youth what to do. If you have your idea, you bring the idea and we help you to make the idea into something good. We develop the ideas into products.
And by the time you leave Churat, you are ready for the supermarket. How is that?
It's very good. Thank you, Doctor.
Next. You are back?
Yes, I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you have discovered more cakes. Oh, mkwano gwa. Say what you want to say.
Yes. I'm back to clarify on a number of things. Yes, one, at Winwood Millers, right now, we are in a process of, we are actually developing, improving on the plan, and by next year, we shall be producing 30 metric tons a day. So right now, we produce between consistently between 5 to 10 a day, but the capacity that we have right now, it's a capacity of 20 metric tons. And then on the other products that are made out of cassava flour, currently we are also in the process, we are working with Hot Loaf Bakery, Africa Innovation Institute, and then Winwood Millers, we are partnering, we are carrying out a number of research to bring a number of other products made out of cassava flour. Then another addition, we also supply Britannia with our cassava flour, and out of that they make biscuits and all that. So that is the clarity that I wanted to make. And then we are also removing 1,500 farmers out of poverty. So currently we are working with 10,500 farmers in the Lango sub-region, and 70% of them are women. Yes. That's the clarity that I wanted to make, yeah.
Thank you. So where is Alan and where is Brenda? Brenda, can you come in front? So this is the Brenda, who is the organizer of this function, but once again, because she's a Ugandan woman, she's not on the agenda. So I wanted to introduce her. And I want to tell you in front of, to tell her in front of everybody that she kept wanting me to come in and do this and the other. And I'm like, Brenda, you will manage. There is no way young people are going to learn if we old people keep hanging around. Thank you, Brenda. So, Alan, how long is the break?
The break is now going to be 10 minutes.
Okay. No, we are going to have 30 minutes of testing. Because I want you to, no, let us have 20 minutes of testing, because I want you to enjoy and actually appreciate. And when, I don't know if you have ever tasted like coffee or tea. You don't like move, just chew, chew, chew. You eat, you are supposed to eat, drink some water, calm the mouth down, and then go to the next stall. Because if you do it quickly, chap, chap, you miss the taste. So please, you, the owners of the stalls, please explain to us. Two, I had somebody brought a cake for PSFU. Please cut it in tiny pieces because PSFU is a amalgamation of tiny pieces. Cut it in tiny pieces so that by the time we get there, we cannot partake. So thank you. Up and enjoy the tasting.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. We appreciate and we learn. So, indeed, the break is on. Yes, please let us, the cassava is outside. You go through the process. The flour is here, and then you can begin going table by table. We have 20 minutes, and break is served at the back. Thank you very much.
Actually, we've been in production for so many years, but we've been doing cassava farming for the stems. Yes, so we've been selling stems to nuts until last year when this. Yes. 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 We started making porridges. Yes. We are requesting government. We give. Yes, it is. It is to children. Sorry? Uh-huh. People come and buy from our farms and bring
Because after the boiler, the system pushes the water from the boiler.
We are writing, we are educating, we are making sure that people, it's a journey, because we know that a good break comes from wheat. So our role in this space is to educate the masses that actually we have a lot of good things going for us.
No, ekikyabulamu kati nze kyendaba nti sisitimu yonna tinnakwatagana kuba kati ekisingira ddala okunyiga bano bandi muwogo nkola matooke, cost of production, cost of doing business, okukolera wano ekintu e Uganda kikyali kizibu nnyo. Amasannyalaze bagaseera nnyo
Kinga Mike sound mujje mu mixer oba interrupting abali mu kubuza ebibuuzo.
So right now, with hot dog for the cakes.
What is your name? Why are you serving your mothers like Mkono? You know Mkono? Mkono is somebody who says, share my food for
This is regular flour. Cassava flour.
So now for the cake,
what percentage?
For this one it's 20. Now for the cake we've gone up to 50%.
20 cassava, 20 wheat.
No, 20 cassava, 80 wheat. Then for the cake, yes. Then for the cake we've gone up to 50%.
These are the cakes, which is serving like a Mkono. You open them further.
Yes.
Yes. And it's a salad, you cut smaller.
Yes. Then for the bread, we do from 20% to 30%, but 20% is the one that actually brings a more consistent. So right now this one has about 20%. 20% of cassava, 80% of wheat.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much did you say you fly? Is your wheat important?
Tell Professor to either trace or change it.
Hot dog is important.
I don't know whether they buy this in or not.
So we should include some cassava percentage.
What is the cassava percentage? So can you tell us? So you are transferred?
We give you the recipe. Yourself, if you are interested in baking.
70
Are you from the rest?
You're welcome to try it. It's from the recipe.
You make the cake. So maybe you are not good at public speaking, but you are good at baking. Because the cake is good.
When you feel
The ones who know how to make and not how to talk about what flavors is. What do you use? From now on, stop using gluten free. Just tell us, tell us. So can we test? Give us small.
Yeah, we're there.
And then we never go to the
But if it's something who does not answer all the questions.
Can I give you some banana gluten, cassava, corn flour? Give us your best. This is banana. Banana. Okay. Carrot. Carrot. You know carrot? What is a carrot cake? Banana cake. Carrot? Banana cake. Thank you. And crumble sticks. Would you like some?
Just put one.
The tiny one. Lemon coconut.
So as we get closer to the seats, we're going to have brief discussions about how young people are embracing opportunities through the lead firms. We're going to be having Farm Uganda and Leading with Millers. So let us set ourselves in the next 20 minutes to start.
Some cookies, okay. The lemon. Oh, sorry, the cookies, the lemon.
One for me. I want one for her.
Enhancers for confection. Got it.
My name is Niwaha Naomi. I'm 27 years old, a mother of 2, and I'm an internal inspector of Kawacom, a lead farm in the Psfu lead farm structure project. As an internal inspector, we are doing registration of farmers, those who are willing to sell us their coffee, do inspection of their farms, certify them under RA, and then train them in coffee agronomy and sign contract with them. The biggest challenge is most of this field work we always looked at as people who cannot handle compared to the males. My recommendation would be we should be looked upon as people who are capable of doing this field work. I'm thankful to the Psfu for giving me employment because I've been able to provide for my family, improve on my coffee field, and for the trainings. So basically I would say thanks to Psfu.
introduce yourself, and then we can start.
Interpreter. Okay, thank you very much. Amabara gange ninywa tugonza Gloria Mbabazi ndugire. Okay. Okay, mwebali muno. Amabara gange banyera tugonza Gloria Mbabazi ndugire Kija United Farmers Cooperative and Farm Uganda. Tuli located mu Kiryandongo district. Once again, amabara gange ninywa tugonza Gloria Mbabazi ndugire Kija United Farmers Cooperative and Farm Uganda. Sangibwa Kiryandongo district.
Thank you very much. Her names are Tugonza Gloria from Kija United Farmers Cooperative. It is found in Kiryandongo district.
Ekintu kye tukoze muna ba Farm Uganda batukolere.
Talk a table, please. We need to listen to this young lady. Thank you.
Mulingo bayini mbagambira tukatandika na ba Farm Uganda in 2021. Twetulima tuli basu balimi bebicholi nikyo tukyabezingira omukaito ba Kija tukatandika na ba farmers. Tukatandika na ba farmers. Thank you. Like I was saying, we are like I was saying, we are located in Kiryandongo district, and we are dealing with youth. Our Farm Uganda tukoragana na our youth kutandika miaka 18 to 20, from 18 to 20 to 35. Our youth tukoragana nabo, and these people of Farm Uganda, they have supported us in different ways. They have provided us with seeds, fertilizers, and they are giving us different trainings on agro inputs, on post-harvest handling, and gap, even on gender, even they are doing validation in time. So our youth, our this time around Mbibo, babayiru 198, our youth, our Mbibo, last season our bakaba 103. So ekintu aba Farm Uganda baina mulingo bakitembya mchali, but kwasize kurungi, we are moving on well with them, whereby these youth who got seats, ladies were 128, whereas gents were 70. Ati ikazona zetu byaire ziri 692 zona hamutoto for those youth who have planted, yeah, acres, yeah, 692 of maize. That's what we are dealing with Farm Uganda. And our Farm Uganda, they are buying from us, we beneficiaries. And I also have my story, which I have to tell you people, what I've benefited from Farm Uganda. I started last season, I started with 3 acres, whereby I got 678 kilos after harvesting. Then I sold at 750, whereby I got 5,500 plus. And I had to buy my personal pigs, whereby I want to achieve my goals as a person.
These people of Farm Uganda, they have also supported us in different ways, even these people of private sector. Thank you very much. Angeni byebyo mwebale muno kumpuliriza. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You may have your seat. As you can see, we are trying to ensure that the younger generation is also able to come and speak about the issues themselves. Not us telling their stories, but themselves telling the story. So the other young person we have on board is from Windwood Millers, who is a beneficiary who may want to tell his or her story.
Yes, good morning, members. I beg to use my local language, but
Who's the interpreter?
he's going to be my interpreter. Okay.
We thought we would do it Kasavu Kanyama, but he can. Go ahead.
Okay, it's okay. I'm called Kachanabat, one of the beneficiaries from Wynwood Millers, Lera City. I benefited from the project in 2021. I started my farming project in Utuke with 5 acres, but I didn't succeed in Utuke. And I went to hire a land in Loro. It was around 22 acres, of which I sold to them. It was around 10 million, of which even I used to pay my school tuition because I was studying in Bukarasa. Even I've just completed my studies last week on Friday. And also, as one of the beneficiaries, I give thanks to Wynwood for always giving us support with the stems and also with the financial support. That's all I have to say, but I have a lot, just a matter to save time. Thank you.
So maybe before you go, you say you had 10 acres.
No, 22 acres.
22 acres.
I started with 5 acres, then it was to 22 acres.
Started with 5 acres and went to?
22 acres.
And how much money did you make?
10 million.
What period?
Just a period of 1.5 years.
There we go. Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Now, just like my chair says, if the older people cannot clap for the young ones, we may not have any more generations to plant. Please, another round of applause. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, our young people from Farm Uganda and Wynwood Millers. Next, we are going to have an overview of what Goal Uganda is doing in this context. So I'm going to have to invite the head of programs, Goal Uganda. All right. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Allow me to remove a correction, I'm not the head of programs. I'm representing. Okay, thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think the program is morning time. If it has past midday, you will apologize me. As the MC mentioned, I'm going to present what Goal Uganda is doing under the Market for Use program, but majorly focusing on cassava value chain. But before I go to the main issue, allow me to first talk who we are, how we work, but also where we work. I will use 10 minutes of my presentation. I have 15 minutes. Then we have come with the use. The use has his stories, plus a small video. So I will use 10 minutes. Then the 5 minutes, I will keep it for the use, as well as the video he has come with. As I mentioned, we work with GOR, and GOR is an Irish international humanitarian organization that was founded in 1977, and we work in 14 countries. Majorly, we have 4 program focus areas, and one is sustainable livelihoods, food security and nutrition, resilient health, but also we also work in crisis or in humanitarian settings. Yes, I will give you, if you more about God, we can also give the handout as the Honorable has mentioned. We have some handouts that we can give or refer you to. This is the program which I'm referring to, Markets for Use program, that I will put much of my focus, but looking at cassava. Let's write next slide. The objective for Market for Use program is facilitate market system change that will directly enable 300 youths to secure dignified and fulfilling work. And the 300,000 youths, we are looking at 70% female, 15% refugee, 5% people with disabilities, and the other balance is males. But we also ensure social inclusion is very, very key. As I mentioned, the categories of the sector we work, but also benefiting 600 people indirectly. That is the overall objective of the program that is targeting 300,000 youths. Next slide. Where we work in 4 regions. We work in Achoro region, we work in Karamoja region, we work in Rango region, we work in Midwest region and the Western region, and those are the districts we work in. Yes? How we work. Gore, we don't work directly, we work through private sectors and the CSOs or civil society organization, and we use, and the program follows market system approach. I will mention earlier in my presentation, we do adaptive management. In a program is a big cornerstone, because as we implement, we run, we adjust, you make a mistake, you fail, you come back, you see the lessons you have learned, then you adapt and move forward. We focus much on building high performance teams. One of the roles we do as goal, we do the facilitating role, we build the capacity of the CSO as well as the technical team of the private sector that are taking the lead in this implementation. We optimize use of technology for workflow management and evidence-based learning. Let's go first. In the program, we use a multiple pathways through which the market for use reach the young farmers to enable them access work in agriculture. And those are the 4 pathways that we use and which we integrate in the program. One, we of skilling, access to skills, as you will see in the next slides. Don't go to the next. We do skilling or building capacity of the youth or in the appropriate skills, in employable skills. There is a path of access to finance, as we are all aware. We need finance to buy improved inputs. We need finance to purchase, to rent, or to buy machinery, or to buy, then we also, another part to increase the confidence and collective voice. We all know the correcting power, the correcting power for use, which brings especially in the market, but also the confidence. So we have different private sectors that work on different pathways. Then the last one is access to on-farm and off-farm inputs and outputs. So in each of the pathways, we have different private sectors that act on access to skills, access to finance, increases confidence and collective voices, as well as input and output markets. Now, this is what is going doing in the cassava value chain. That's why I want to focus my attention. As I mentioned, we don't work directly. We work through partners or private sectors, as well as civil society organizations. We don't only work in cassava, but we work in other value chain. But for purpose of this presentation, I will just focus on cassava. And as I've mentioned, we do right from the entire value chain, right from production up to marketing and value addition. And on the side, this is one of the CSO called Mokombadi in Chitugum, discussing with the youth on enterprise development, on enterprise selection, but as well as provision of improved varieties. For this matter, the Mokombadi linked youth to different organizations, including a research station, including NARO, where they access NARO CASA 1, as it is commonly called in the region. Let's go. Still under production, and still under the partners or the private sector we use. The partners train the community, they mobilize the community, they train the community, then the youth select the what we call champions or farm leaders, who now become the trainers of the youth group, of the group. So in this picture that's presented here, this is the one of the youth group. We are supporting under Mokobandi and for 10 years, and the youth are being trained in good agronomic practices in cassava in that area, in the sub-county called Omoro, in Omoro Ruara Pass in Chitugum. So each youth group has a trainer or a champion who is trained as trainers of trainers, and then takes trained farmers, use their fellow use at that level. And the reason we do that is the sustainability, because as goal, we have a program that is 5-year program. Then when we end, we want the youths who have been trained as trainers of trainers, they continue training. They don't only train, but also they give inputs. Both they link up with the input service providers, and then they get a commission. So we provide embedded services. As they train, they also provide inputs. And when they provide inputs, because the youth buys, then he also gets a commission. That one also becomes a motivation factor for the youth champion to reach more youth or to reach more groups, or to make sure that the youth access improved services, improved inputs, because per input he gets a commission. Let's go to the next. We also talking of value addition and processing, and as I earlier mentioned, we do it through the private sector, like we have seen here. Like most of you would fit well with the goal and young markets for youth markets for work. The private sector also train the youth in value addition, and here in Chitugumo we are working with a private sector called for 10 years, which train youth in improved post-harvest handling, value addition, and processing. So next. This is also a slide for where we have all the partners together, and this was a business meeting where we had Mokombadi, we had the Fortenanias. Fortenanias, they are off-takers. They buy from the group, but as well as training the group. So here, that was one of the meeting, and we had a youth representative. And as you see, this is the 8-acre cassava of the youth called Rimbe youth group in Chitugum in Omoro sub-county. So here when the field, that was the Goro team, plus the private sector, who is going to buy, but also train youth in value addition and processing. But because the youth have, the cassava is too much, they may not consume the whole cassava, so he will train, and then afterward he will offtake some of the cassava, as the youth will explain to us. And then we have Mokobadi. Mokobadi is the one which have been organizing youth into groups, as well as trying to help them select the right enterprise or value chain to work in. As I mentioned, we don't only under the young use markets for work. We don't only work in cassava, we work in other value chains, and we work through the entire value chains, and we don't work directly, we work with several actors. We have actors we have partners in finance, partners who are doing in access to inputs, partners who are taking. So as you can see, these are different value chains we work in. We work in soybean, we work in improved bean, in narrow 16, we work we have vegetables and onion. So this is a sort of a summary of how we work. We don't work directly, we work through partners, we work through the private sector, they take a read, as well as the CSO partners. But also we work through the entire value chain, and as I've mentioned, the 4 multiple pathways we use to make sure that the 300,000 youths reach a dignified but fulfilling work. I hope my 10 minutes are over. I will call the youth to come and then say something, and afterwards also he has a video which he is going to show us. Come again?
Right, thank you very much. Right, the youth, is the youth? Yes. Okay, we only have 2-3 minutes, please. We are really behind time.
It's okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Julius. I think this 2 minutes is enough for me, because I come from far, from northern Uganda. I come from Kigum district. First of all, my name is Saurongo Salsomana. I represent youths in a group called Rebe Aye Teho. Strength is unity. I want to, first of all, make some clarities from the previous presenter. The sub-county is not called Omoro, as I said. It is called Oram sub-county. Ladies and gentlemen, I was just directed to come and say something brief. As I said that I'm a youth representative, I am called a youth champion. We are actually engaged in production, which is cassava. We are producing cassava called Narrowcast 1. We started last year with, we first of all produced 5 hectares. That one we sold, and we actually managed to get 15 million. As I talk now, this year we have produced more than 8 hectares for the groups, but also for the individual members of the group, we have 28 acres. So in all, it is 36 acres of cassava class 1. So we became to be a group through the work of Mukubadi, as you have said. Mukubadi is the one who grouped us. The group members selected the youth champions as me, so I've received several trainings from the Mukubadi. One of his is business planning or business management skills, financial literacy, and basic life skills. So the groups, and we've trained them the very training that we have received from Mukubadi. So as you are seeing this video, This is 8 hectares for the group, which is called Ribe Ayatero. But for the individual members, it is also much bigger than this one. So that's what I would like to actually say for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. The words might be few, but I think the pictures are speaking louder than the words. We are going to the next session. Yes, the youth are planting. Yes, the youth are being trained. Yes, we are moving forward with the agriculture part of this cassava value chain and other value chains. But then, what are the entrepreneurs, the processors, going to say about this? So in our next session, we're going to be inviting the general manager from Ntake group of companies. We're now going to a discussion. And as our chair guide, we don't want to be talking to, we want to talk about, we want to discuss, we want to get value out of today's session. So we are going to invite the general manager of Ntake group of companies. Maybe our hosts, can you help us put back our chairs so that we have a wonderful discussion? Hotel? Okay, see, since the hotel may not be present, we will do it ourselves. Thank you very much.
I'm Evelyn Deborah Walusimbi. I'm 21 years old. I'm currently working as a barista at the Inspire Africa establishment, and I'm a beneficiary of the Psfu Lead Farm Structure Project. As a young woman, I've faced quite lots of challenges, one being lack of opportunities for me to express my capabilities to the world. Also lack of funds to put my business plans in place. I recommend that more opportunities should be created for women out there to get into hands-on activities so that they can earn a better living. I'm thankful to the Psfu Lead Farm Structure Project. It is through this project that I've gained this skill that is going to take me miles. As a beneficiary, I'm going to become a business owner. With that, I'm also going to employ other women out there. Thank you, Psfu.
Asha Batenga, CEO Cake Shop. Maybe for purposes of the visual, Professor may want to sit on the side so that, I don't know, the visuals, you okay with this arrangement? Okay, yes. Allow me, we have heard from the youth, Madam Allen. Since you're secretary, I think can we have mics, please, 3 of them at the front? We have heard from the youth. We have seen where the cassava is. We have seen the flour. We have also seen the products. Someone was whispering in my ear and saying, but what is this, really, this gluten-free thing here? Let's stick to the front. I get into that, but for Madame Allen, there's a question here. How can we exploit these opportunities, especially in domestic production of wheat? The reason is I am very much aware Ntake is moving in that direction. Tell us a little bit about why are you going there, what opportunities are there, where can Ugandans look at? Yes, Madam Ale.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Allen Kuchalian Sereko from Ntake Bakery as the general manager. We have, right now, shows us exactly, gives us an example why we are partnering with Psfu and MasterCard with what's happening in Ukraine and Russia. We as Ntake partnered, and what we want to do at the moment is to get into importing less. Ntake at the moment, 100% the wheat grain comes from the very many countries that you heard about. We have from Europe, we have Germany, you have UK. From South America, we have Argentina. I mean, we are importing from all over the world. So Ntake has partnered to get into actually trying, or not even trying, but making it work with growing our own wheat in Uganda. Let's stop sending money out to all over the world, but in Uganda. The biggest percentage, of course, goes to the other continents. Why do we have to do it? Until when are we going to do that? Ntake has stepped up and wants to work to see that we keep the biggest share to us Ugandans. We keep the biggest share to us, the young people. Ntake wants to create job opportunities over 5,000 with youth, of course, 70% to 65 women or young women from different parts of Uganda. Right now, we have Kabale in Buko, in Kweni, in Kapchora. There is wheat growing, but at a very small percentage. Ntake wants to step it up to different parts of the country. We are going to Bodibujo, we are going to Kabale, we go to Gulu, Lamu, very many parts of the country that can actually grow wheat. So if we can come and grow our own wheat, what will that mean to Uganda? Just the wheat sector would be able to bring up the economy of Uganda. Ugandans, we love our wheat. I'm sorry, we are getting to know about gluten-free, and I absolutely understand the implications of gluten. But the biggest part of Ugandans are not yet there. As we are getting there, let's try to see that we capture the biggest percentage of the wheat grain that comes from abroad to extending it to Ugandans.
Thank you very much, Madam Allen. You see, as we are working with our partner from the Ministry of Trade, Francis, seated right there, the gentleman, you may want to wave Francis one time. We were negotiating on how not only we produce in Uganda, but how we can export. Is there any competitive advantage that we can get? Or do you envisage that we first produce for Uganda, have enough, and then be able to export? Second question, what does the youth expect when I go to farm? What is the acreage of, what is the tonnage per farm, per acre? And what is the price? And what does the youth expect to get? Is he going to become a millionaire? Or is it yet another, you see, agriculture? No. Can the youth get something out of this?
This is our pilot. We are the pilot project. We are starting. To be honest, we have figures that look very good on paper, where the youth is going to be able to get a job in the first place. Right now, they are seated at home, or they are really trying to work within Okweya. You've had that a number of times. You ask someone, what do you have for lunch? And say, man, Okweya. So right now we are taking away the Okweya part and giving them jobs. The percentages at which they are going to be able to earn, I might not be able to give you the certain figures, but what we know, we've worked out that the youth is going to be able to get something. The youth is going to be able to pay the rent. They will be able to add, not minimum standards, but at least at the expected standard. that a Ugandan should be living at. Youth are going to benefit. We're going to teach them, train them on how the wheat growing is going to be done. Of course, as Ntake, we don't know much about wheat growing. No, we do not. We do know a lot about importing it. But growing, we are going to work with, we're going to partner with, we have organizations like NARO, we have Sakara on board. These are some of the people, the researchers that have already done the work. Ntake is in as a lead farm, as per PSFU requirements. They should be a lead farm, reputable one, via taxes and everything. Ntake is. Ntake is going to lead with partnering with the Sakara, with NARO. So working together, if we get a seed multiplication, how do you do that? I don't know. NARO does, Sakara does. So we are working with reputable researching groups to see that we get the job done. And what's the job? Number one, it's the youth. The youth, how are they going to benefit? Yes, they will get to the basic living standards. They will not go a day without lunch or supper. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Allen. I like the fact that, when you're talking to business people, they will tell you, this I will do, this I cannot do, but I have partners who are able to do it. So that you don't get the illusion of the theorists. Some of us are theorists of everything is good on paper, but when you come to the reality, there is nothing. I like that, Madam Allen. And I like that you're working with NARO and the Ministry of Agriculture in a wider area to see that we are able to have that wheat grown. Again, Professor, we somehow have a value chain, albeit this value chain has been starting by importing, then milling, and then being able to do the bread and maybe also sell the flour and sell the products to the consumers. They are moving a step back to the upper chain of this, upper value chain of this production. Speaking about cassava, I know we have been told by His Excellency to think about it. I'm asking, we as Ugandans have this thing of, it's made in Uganda, maybe it doesn't have the quality. Some of us would rather buy very expensive things I hear made in River, but yet you can have them here in Uganda, and as soon as you say made in Uganda, no. The question at hand is, how can we organize the value chain to exploit production of cassava products? How do we make cassava, so to say, the in thing, to be added into Ntake's production line? How do you, as the professor, as the researcher, tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. First of all, I want to correct something. One is that our names, we share names. The MD of Windwood Millers is a team, and me, I'm also team. So I am the CEO for Africa Innovation Institute. I will come back to that a little bit. But I'm also a little more associated with Windwood Millers. So I can talk a little bit more about Windwood Millers as well, so there's no problem. But before I do that, I want to say that this wheat thing has sent me smiling for cassava. I am smiling for cassava. It reminds me about what I told the world in 2016 at IFAD. This was a talk. I was invited to convince the world about how we can make use of cassava. And I told the world about the value of cassava and so on and so on. And I prayed to investors, to government, and to all those who are in the policy area that let's give cassava a hearing. That hearing seems to be coming today with the coming in of soaring prices of wheat. So I am smiling. I'm smiling for cassava. That talk of mine, I think I gave it to the Secretariat. If there is an opportunity, we can hear it. But also let me take this opportunity to thank Winwood Millers and to thank Farm Uganda. These are the people that we brought up, the companies that we developed from nowhere as Africa Innovation Institute. We developed from nowhere. And I'm proud to hear Farm Uganda say what they said today. I am proud to hear and to see what Winwood Millers say what they say today and what they're displaying. This gives us a lot of pride and hope. It tells a message that we can do it, and I know we'll do it. Now let me go back to cassava. What can cassava offer to this world, or to Uganda in that case? Especially in addressing the issue of the soaring wheat prices. Already you have heard that a lot of work is going on globally. A lot of research has been carried out in different parts of the world. Brazil, where the cassava originated from, and their cassava is their main food. It is like our matoke here, maize. In West Africa and in other parts of the world. And we now know what cassava can do to replace wheat, in the confectionery industries. I think I want to say that let us take a leaf from Nigeria. Nigeria is the biggest cassava producer in Africa. And they decided to go massive for cassava. A very ambitious program which was started in 2012, 2013 by the President Goodluck Jonathan. There, they were spending billions of dollars importing wheat annually. You know, like something like $4.5 billion annually for importing wheat. And they made up their mind that they must cut wheat import by 30% in 5 years. That would save them a lot of money. And what they did was to put a levy on wheat import. And the income from that levy, they used to finance the cassava bread program. It was very ambitious. They first, out of that money, they put in 10 billion to support the different segments of the cassava wheat value chain, cassava wheat bread value chain. Part of the money was to support processors, to acquire machineries to process high-quality cassava flour. Because at that time, they knew that the knowledge for processing cassava, the knowledge for making bread out of cassava and so on, were there already in country. So what they needed now was a system to propel that now, to put it to the market. A part of that money was to develop the type of people you see here, what they are calling the bakeries, master bakers. They call it master bakers. But those are these small SMEs who process bread. At that time, they were using bread. They were using wheat to make the bread. But now they wanted to build their capacity to make bread out of high-quality cassava flour. Then a part of the money was to support increased cassava production. And then, of course, to create awareness in the marketing and sale of cassava. That went reasonably well, but it met a lot of challenges. And the challenges that I want us to borrow from here is this. When we talk about developing a commodity, we must address all the segments in the value chain. There, the money which was supposed to support processing did not flow as was expected. And that segment was broken. So the whole thing broke down. And the program did not achieve what it was expected to achieve. And later on, it was terminated. But the key message here is that we can do it. We have the science. We have the private sector. We have all that is needed to make cassava work for the people. But we need that kind of intervention. We need the enabling environment. We need leadership, and so on and so on. And we need, of course, funding. So,
Professor, I'm going to have to stop you there because I hear you. I hear we need the funding.
Yes.
We need the policies.
Yes.
All right? And we need to support the whole entire value chain.
Exactly.
And as a person who has been in policy, I know those things can be a little bit long term. The young man today, the young woman today, who you're convincing, what can they do in the meantime? As we speak with Francis from trade, as we speak to agriculture, is there something you can throw out there for them to catch on?
There is a lot that we can do at the moment. You have heard many cassava processing companies are coming up. So high-quality cassava flour is going to be available.
Okay.
You have seen a number of SMEs and factories processing bread.
Okay.
So the market for processing bread is going to be, the market for high-quality cassava flour is going to be there.
Mm.
So what we need to do is, one, to strengthen these different segments. Two, to link the cassava growers to the market. Those youths should be linked to those who are processing so that they have market for their roots. Then those who are processing cassava be linked to the market for high-quality cassava flour. And then once this linkage is made, then the system can begin to flow. Okay. But we need support from government to stimulate expansion of market. I was going to say that we need immediate levy on the wheat import. And that levy should come back to support the cassava value chain so that it begins to grow.
Okay. Professor, I'm sure you'll have an in-depth discussion with the Ntake and the millers on the other side on the levy so that they understand how that doesn't influence their prices immediately to go up. Because before you do the import levy, you're going to convince them that once you put the levy, people are still going to be able to buy the bread. But we'll have a discussion. Madam Masha, you've heard wheat, they're going to plant the wheat. You've heard Professor saying, Vanaki, don't forget about the cassava. There are so many opportunities around cassava. But now you are the baker. Will you buy the cassava? Two, will you buy the Toke. 3, will you buy the rice and the corn? So the question at hand here is, what are these missing gaps for you to be able to bake and then be able to sell to us, to be able to eat these things? What are those opportunities and missing gaps?
Thank you so much. My name is Asha Batenga. The company I come from is Kekli, Uganda. But today I'm not here as Kekli, Uganda. I'm here as Cake Shop. Because under Cake Shop we have different bakers, different suppliers, and different cake lovers. This platform, it has 1,000 members community online, and we come together to equip each other and develop one another. Now, that's a very important question that have been asked. First of all, thank you, PSFU, for this opportunity. It is my first time here, and I'm so excited. Honorable mentioned that we are for togetherness, that we have to be together, and that is something that I stand with, because I believe Kekli as one can't do much, but Cake Shop together can do so much. So when we go back to the things that we need to do to understand the product, when you talk about gluten-free, the first reaction is like, ew, because we have the history of gluten-free not tasty, not being moist, as in there are so many myths and realities that are attached to gluten-free. And some are true, some are not. So I have seen that we have so many farmers. And because we have farmers here, it is very important to hear from a person on my side, as a baker, what we struggle with when we are selling your products, which become our products. So first of all, we don't have any awareness. I've had different people speak and they are so knowledgeable about the products, but that is inside this room. Outside the room, something that is as simple as what is gluten-free is someone even has never heard of gluten. So we have a very big part to play out there, from the baker to the consumer to the suppliers, because even if we have the best product in this room, and I've tested some very good products, even if the product is up there, if the consumers don't understand what you're selling, no one is going to demand from your bakery, and that will mean that no one is going to come to buy your gluten-free products, which means the farmer is not going to benefit. Eric talked about something like the population, like how they will perceive when someone says, this chapati is made of cassava, someone give you this look of like, what? Please give me chapati. I didn't ask for this. That is because we don't have any awareness down there, because we have to come from down up. People have different illnesses, allergies, and all that, so they will come knowing that, oh, I don't take gluten. But massive market is down there, like Alan said, that this Mutwa Wansi who's going to come and buy a chapati today, they need to understand what is into that chapati, which products are you using. So that kind of awareness, where we need to come from the ground, is very important to bring such a product on the market. So I've been thinking, when I was seated there, thinking like, how do we get this thing when it is an obvious thing? Even when you come at the shelf, you can just pick cassava bread or cassava cake without even thinking twice. If we come up with like big educative campaigns and we utilize all medias, because sometimes we focus on the traditional medias and then we forget the other media, like say social media. Social media will have, thank you. Social media will have everyone. Montua Wansi, the uptown, the middle income earners, it will have everyone. So as we are looking at the traditional, when we are using the TV, the newspapers and all that, one thing that I see sometimes is left out, which is becoming the in thing, which is becoming what everyone uses, from the teenagers to the upper floors. What everyone is using is the social media, because it is now, or it is on our phones. So if we utilize such things where we make things like cassava, pumpkin, today I had rice and all that. If we make them like normal, in that your clients, I don't have to even to sell it to my clients, but my clients have seen it everyone. Then they are calling and saying, Asha, do you have a rice bread? Asha, do you have this? Instead of us trying to explain, because when it comes from you, that is so much power than me selling it to you. And that will make the value chain very easy, because when the clients demand, we will demand and the farmers will benefit. But we need that kind of awareness.
Thank you very much, Madam Asha. I'm sure Lorraine somewhere, I know she doesn't want me to introduce. Lorraine, you may want to stand up. She's our communications specialist at Private Sector Foundation. That is Lorraine.
Hello.
Now, the reason why I say that is because you've said you need massive sensitization. There is media all over the place today. Those things, I want to say, how do we style the product up for the young person to say, all right, now there is something good for me. This is not your grandmother's cassava. This is a modern kind of product. You know the young people these days. So, Madam Allen here is whispering in my ear saying, I want to say something about that. Yes, go ahead.
As in Turkey, we have long time, I mean like yesterday, realized that we have to do something about the pricing. And one way of doing this, we tried by substituting wheat flour. We tried cassava, we tried maize, as in the maize meal, we tried soya. Some of the challenges we faced, like Asha was saying, awareness. We also faced a challenge of pricing, affordability, where if I'm using flour of between 3,000 and 4,000 per kilo, I would prefer, if I'm to substitute, that means I'm supposed to use something lower cost. Problem we are facing is getting at the same price as wheat. So what am I substituting if the price is not less than what I'm using? So the pricing becomes very difficult. Another point is availability.
But wait a second, Madam Allen. Are you trying to tell us that if these products are cheaper than the import wheat, we will buy?
Yes.
We will buy the maize?
We will buy the maize.
We will buy the rice?
Yes, we will.
We will buy the cassava flour?
Not forgetting millet.
Don't forget the millet.
Yes.
You are committing that we can buy these products.
We can buy.
All what you are asking
soya
for is let's have products a little bit.
A little bit lower. How is it that wheat that I got from Russia is cheaper than the cassava that I'm going to get from Dokolo? So pricing becomes a problem. I'm not sure how it's done, but it becomes a problem.
Madam Chair.
Another one we have is availability. The tons, I mean, if I need to mix 10 tons per day, and I'll say I'll use a percentage of 40%, I cannot get the cassava that is going to give on a daily basis.
Madam Allen, wait a second. From Uganda.
Yes.
Are you hearing? You said produce 6. They want 40. Windwood Millers, you say you're producing 8. They want 40.
Yes. This is not just in Turkey. As probably go to cake shop, there are a number of members. There are a lot of bakers. Can they give us as cake shop? They have Turkey, and we have very many other bakeries. Can you actually supply us enough? The consistency, is it there?
I have asked my questions. Madam Vice Chair, do you want to start?
And of course, we have, yes.
Let's have the discussion.
Just a moment. You see, the reason we are here is to hear such. Because when Dongo and I find their cassava rotting and I feel like crying, you don't. Here you are crying for this cassava. Here is a cassava in Chiriandongo rotting. That is why we are here today. So to Farm Africa and some of us, sorry, Farm Uganda and some of us, that is music to our ears. That is one. Two, the reason in Uganda there is a proverb which says, "Omulamu tasamirirwa." You don't speak on behalf of somebody who is alive. We want to hear it from you. Today, what we want out of here is to find out if we all know it can happen, why isn't it happening? So what should be done by who and where? Thank you.
Madam Honorable, we also have an issue of quality.
Yeah.
There will probably be able to, there will be availability, but quality at which we want these products. Bread is very sensitive. You realize when you're buying bread, when you're chewing, literally when you're eating the bread, you do not want to feel any funny, sandy particles. So we find that the people who are putting in the effort are actually lacking the support to bring in products that are of good quality.
Madam Ndake, that is why one of our major partners is UNBS. I don't know if they are here. Great. UNBS is very important, so important to us that last year we actually sat down with them and told them if need be, we are going to contribute some money for our potential members to be handheld so that they can produce quality products. Because Ntake cannot go everywhere, but UNBS can go and PSFU we are everywhere. So for that one, Chitulekere.
Thank you, Alan.
And the Mukulu says, I only say how high. Now, the Mukulu has said that UNBS. May I inform us here? We have spent over $250,000 supporting UNBS in the area of aflatoxins. So we cannot say we're not yet there. We are supporting them. If there is a company right now in the value chain or in the certification process of UNBS for cassava, there I'm going to put my foot there, that they get the certification, because we are going to support them to certify over 500 products with 361 companies. I am going to go back and look at the database. That is my pledge, Madam Vice Chair. If there is a cassava company inside there, I am putting my foot down. Those ones will be supported. How high? That high. Colleagues, it's a discussion. I just have 5 minutes, but I wish to have the audience say something.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moderator and the audience. Madam Ntake, Madam Manager, I need to quench your thirst. We started cassava, that's the father and grandfather of cassava, way back. We had reached our companies from Uganda, supplying Uganda breweries 1,500 metric tons per annum as a single company. Cassava was like, you see, sugarcane in Uganda. But what killed it was only one, the policy. 30% excess duty that was put on Ngure beer per liter produced, the whole value chain died off. Production and processing is not our problem. We need genuine consumers. For us, we are hands-on. We're not academicians. You tell me I need 6 tons, I will sleep awake, and I give it to you. So what we need is only one. Madam Ntake, when we produced support through the professor, I went to Ntake myself. I met, by then there was a manager. I introduced the chapter. Why can't you use at least 10% of my high quality cassava flour, other than having a white elephant seated in Chidanogo without producing high quality cassava flour, after investing millions of money in it? But they are not buying the concept. I need to thank Private Sector Foundation Uganda. I need to thank MasterCard Foundation for bringing all this to light. This is what we need. This is what we've been going for. Madam Cake, we have got the best quality that you can consume. You've seen them at Toke. You think that investment the government has put to shame is for a show off? but they are not seeing, they are producing, they are putting on the shelves, and they are not getting the consumption. Now, how will they invest back? So please, with that, I need a contract from you. I thank you.
Wow, I like this conversation. I'm going to make your life a little bit harder. Allow me to. In the whole of last year, we have been bargaining in partnership with our friends from Ministry of Trade, with the Ministry of Finance, to reduce that so-called excise duty on Engule. May I report to you that in this budget, they have reduced the excise duty to 12. So, Mr. Onapito and his group are busy seeing how they can revitalize that line. So you are going to be in trouble if you don't support, if you don't produce that cassava. The father of cassava you are hearing. Yes, you have the mic there. There's a question here.
All these problems that have come, pricing, availability, and so on, goes back to two things. One, so I was saying that all this that you see here in coming, pricing, availability, and so on, boil down to two things. One, fix the supply chain. Because there are people there who are producing, they don't have market. There are markets that want the flour which has been produced, they don't know where to get them from. There are farmers who are growing cassava, they don't know where to sell. So if you fix that supply chain, a lot of that problem will be sorted. Two, the high prices of cassava products goes down back to low productivity of cassava. At the moment, I don't know what prices you are paying, but in Lira right now, a kilo of cassava is about 200, 250 shillings. Yeah, fresh. And you need about 3 to 4 of those kilos to make 1 kilo of high quality cassava flour. So if we increase productivity of cassava, then the price of root will fall down. And then everything down there will go down. I see the Ministry of Agriculture is here, but productivity of cassava is extremely low, and you cannot understand it. We have the technology, the varieties are there, they're doing very, very well, but productivity of cassava is still very, very, very low. We need to fix that. Then we need to fix the supply chain. Then we need to strengthen capacities of all those different actors. Then we can talk with the confidence that we are moving to substitute. If you don't do that, forget it.
Thank you very much, Professor. Wow, there are 2 questions which are coming. I need a microphone there. But as that microphone comes, I hear one thing from you, Professor. Fix the value chain. Now, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we need someone else to give us another model. Because the only model some of us know which works, if you're going to fix the value chain, you're going to need aggregators. And if you need aggregators, I'm sorry to say, you're going to need cooperatives. We have tried these other things, receipt warehousing, whatever, aggregation system. But the problem you are going to face, Professor, is Madame Montakia. If the price cannot be as good as what she wants, you can scream how much you want. But also, if you can't provide the farmer with the right price, we will still scream here next year. So if we can fix that, I hear you, let us try and go that direction.
Can I tell you a solution very quickly? Is what we did with these people, with the Farm Uganda, with the Uganda breweries, with the windmill millers. Let those segments come together, they negotiate, they agree. Going backwards, you produce, I buy, you buy the root, and that is how to fix, bring all the 3 together, they negotiate, they support each other, and things move.
Thank you very much.
The models are already there. It's just a question now of scaling them up.
Thank you. So we'll have that question and this question, and then we'll have the answer, and then we'll close.
Thank you, moderator. I'm Kolomo Christopher. I work with Naro, and
very
specifically in cassava program. That's my professor. I work with him, he left me there. I want to reiterate what professors say. Fix the production segment. The reason why we are not seeing that is us, we the players. I will give you an example. Between 2014 to 16, there was very big support from government to produce cassava for whoever would want to buy. But these were planted kilos. The focus area was Albertine region, Kiriandongo, and Apache. How many of us know that the main buyers were from Sudan, South Sudan, Congo, and Rwanda? They were cleared by the Ministry of Agriculture. Had a bumper production because the market was assured. I'm just from Eastern Uganda, and I also found people are growing cassava and selling chips, and I ask them who are the ones buying. Again, South Sudan, Rwanda, and Congo. Busia, Bugiri is very far away from here. South Sudan, Congo, and Rwanda is the other side. They go for the market there. So we need to fix that. What has happened to organizing the grassroots into viable production groups? What is going on such that they cannot do that? There are all agencies there, local government, NGOs, research is there to provide the required inputs, but it's not happening. Something is grossly wrong why this is not happening. So I still go back to what is saying. We have even come up with technologies which can reduce costs of production, one of which is fully mechanizing the production of cassava. We piloted this in Kigumba, planting using a machine, harvesting using a machine. It is there. So what is missing? Again, we have another technology which can increase the density, plant density per acre. And you know, with good agronomic practice, plant density is directly correlated to yield. So Naro has everything. Private sector is working hard. Where is the problem? How many planting materials have been flushed in the community and you cannot trace them? Just in 4 months, from July 21 to May 22, NADS injected 4.24 billion shillings to produce, to buy and distribute cassava stems, particularly in a Chole sub-region, and that is Gulu. And this is in anticipation of supplying and feeding the Bukona factory and the upcoming Chole Bull factory. So there is effort, but I think there is lack of coordination. We need to coordinate. If we coordinate well and invest in the right segment, there will be no cry. That's where the problem is. Thank you.
So coordination, I'll have that. So coordination is very important. Secretariat, please, let's note that one down. Wow. Let's be brief now, really.
Thank you. I would like, first of all, to appreciate and thank very much the private sector. And I think now that the private sector has come on board, we really need to refocus and redesign the approach and the mindset. I've been in cassava, and these are colleagues, Naro, and everybody. And I'm also with those guys down. I like those guys. You know what I mean? People call them different names. But I mean, they are down there. Either they are farmers, they are these uneducated. But these guys are very practical and very innovative. What they ask, and I think we need to think seriously, this is the problem. I like the terms they use. They say, two things. Waka, waka liwa. And the other one, uteka sente wolaba. Where is the money in cassava? You see, where is the money? You see, we've been having donor-driven initiatives, and we need to appreciate the dryer in Kiriandongo, the Windwood, and these are few. You see, this country is very fertile, and it has happened before. If you go out there and tell farmers to grow cassava, they are going to grow cassava, and it will even rot. But here are the challenges. The industrial markets take a lot of cassava. Right now, we need 100 tons per day. We've been contracted for that, and please help us. I think I saw there is a group there. 100 tons per day. The capacity is 250 tons per day. They have started. The pressure we are under, we've been moving around with my colleague. There is no cassava. And the guys are telling us to hell, we are not going to grow cassava. We grew cassava before, and there was no market. Are we together?
We have sorted that one out. All we need to sort it out. Farm Uganda are hearing that they need the cassava. They need the.
Just hold on as I continue. Here is the problem.
Where's the problem?
Industrial markets. I told you take us into all over. We need to talk figures. I appreciate private sector. Next time we meet, let us look at how much does it cost to get a kilogram of cassava. Because the prices we are giving on contract are between 125 shillings.
Which is very cheaper than it.
Just hold on. Exactly. That is the issue. 125 is the minimum, and 175 is maximum. Ntake talked the exact thing. You know, we started the journey of cassava around 2000. Now, for cassava to be competitive, as far as wheat substitution is concerned, it has to be 70% of the price of wheat. Uganda is doing, I think, in the order of 800,000 tons per annum. Kenya is doing 1 million tons. Kenya now wants to blend, you know, as they said about Malako with maize. They are now going cassava. By the way, they are getting varieties from Uganda, and they are moving very fast. They are working on the policy to blend with maize. They are doing 4 million tons of maize. Actually, that is the shortage. About 5 million tons of maize they need. If you substitute that with cassava, 20–30%, the millers are saying, where is the cassava? Okay? Now, the issue of price, you see, goes back to what is the cost, what is going to be the optimum levels of productivity, so that we sort this thing out. I would request the issue, I think private sector should help. We need to have investments in drying. You see, right now, we have underappreciated Farm Uganda.
Just a moment. Now, can you talk like the children talk? Children don't use a lot of words.
Yeah.
Take a center whatever.
Exactly.
Now we take a big gamble, we will be not just say what you want and what you have to offer.
Sure.
If let's say you want 100 tons, tell us if you are ready to go to have a contract with us, so that we know who we are talking to and we can quote you.
Exactly. Quote.
But you're going to go more, not many of words.
Tuwada katale sike kasinga. Okay, we've provided the market, and this is just one. The other industries, so they go to probably 500. We are doing capacity building with my colleague here. He's a very specialized, experienced agronomist, and we are giving the contract. Now, the farmers are saying, where is the material? They are happy with that. We've given them the contracts, and they're saying, where is the material? They don't have the money. So what we need is to assist, have a fund that is going to support massive distribution of cassava. That is one. Two, we need to have a fund that is going to facilitate investments in processing, especially the dryers. If you look at Uganda, as I told you, there are very, very few. They cannot manage alone. So we need to have that fund. We can provide, we can network, because we know where these equipment are, the capacities of the dryers, they are technical.
Allow me to answer you. There is Windwood Millers. They have a contract to do that. There is Farm Uganda. If you are able to take, if they're able to take what you want, please contact them there. And with Wood Millers is there. So that you can just only finish up the contracting. Thank you. Okay, there is just only one other element which is going to disturb you, the pricing. You see, Madam Takeda is telling you the wheat flour is expensive. You are telling us the kilo is cheap. So where is why is the price difference so high?
Thank you very much. My name is Jory Gonahasa. I'm a teacher, a baker, and a researcher. And I've been doing a few researches on gluten-free products. We have two major problems. One is standardization. I think we'll need UNBS to help us. As the processors make the flour, they need to be aware that there are different flours for different products. The flour that is needed by the breweries is not the same flour that the baker is going to use. So we need the standard. Two, the quality. Somebody mentioned about the quality. When we talk of quality, it is the sand. I think we need processing equipment, proper equipment for the processing, so that we can get high quality flour of the right particle size for the bakeries. And then the pricing. If you take a very quick look at the products available, apart from cassava, probably, which is 2,000 a kilo, but I'm not very sure of the quality. The matoke flour is 9,000 or 10,000 a kilo, 12,000 a kilo. The potatoes are 7,000. The other flour is more than 10,000 a kilo. We cannot use that and market our products. So we need to look at lowering the cost of the end product. Thank you very much.
Okay, we need to stop, but Madam, you've just put a very huge spanner in the works, and we need to solve that challenge. On the one side, you have farmers getting nearly nothing. On the one side, you are having processors at a price which is very high. So I'm asking myself, how are we going to help the Ntakis of this world? Madam Vice Chair,
thank you for giving me the mic back.
This is the last one, then we close.
The last one. I will just go direct to the calculations. I've been practical. Charles with me. We produce together. The least price I have bought cassava is 200 shillings. And when you put it at a ratio of 4:1, fresh tubers, that's the least price. The one I have on right now, actually I have got products you come and buy. I have bought this cassava at 370. At a ratio of 4:1, I'm producing at 1,600. And if I'm putting on my other costs at a break price, okay, I'm willing to give it to you at 1,800. At the average ratio, the wheat substitution, how much are you saving to the farmer level? I'm turning cassava, fresh cassava tubers to flour. So I'm buying, if I bought, take an example, 200 shillings per kilo of fresh cassava tubers. And I use a ratio of 4:1. 4 kilos of fresh to make 1 kilo of flour. 1,600. That's my cost of production. I don't know power, I don't know milling, I don't know peeling, all that. Now I put my profit margin of 100 shillings and I supply. Now, 1,800. And what is the price of wheat at them? So we need to come from air-conditioned rooms, practicals. Mr. Researcher, sir, practically, the price you are giving is far lower than the production cost. The farmer will not going to give you the cassava. Myself, if I'm buying 200 shillings from a farmer, and the farmer has produced 18 tons per hectare, he's earning 3.6 million shillings. It makes sense in business. He will not fail to supply me, but to give him 125 shillings, how much he's going to do? He's going to abandon it. So what we need, contract farming, what private sector is supporting us to, because they are supporting me. I give seeds to these farmers, they are here, they are my clients, they can testify that. I buy from them, I process and then supply in Turkey. Why can't we now for that value check? And then when business, other than talking a lot of English here.
Okay.
I have made.
Thank you. He is really passionate about what he's saying. Now, I have two hands, but hold that fire. I want us to conclude with this panel because there's another panel. We're not leaving this. We have another panel. We are here until that time we have asked you to be here. But let us discuss what others call tacheles. And my vice chair has something to say.
I want to welcome one of our bakers. Where are the samples? Yeah. You want to stand up? Please. I'll give him a microphone. Basically, because he's one of those, the moment cassava was mentioned, the following day he had the bread.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I apologize for being late because of some another commitment from CNN. They were interviewing Mama Care. I am from Mama Care Foundation, the first nutrition food project in Uganda. Cassava. When President talked about eating cassava, we saw a big hullabaloo in social media when some part of the community was making a parody and jokes about President's about cassava rather than wheat bread. What we as Mama Care did, being an international consortium, we immediately got in touch with our food consultants overseas, West Africa, and the Far East. I would say happily, within about 3 and 4 days, we were managed to use our facility at Biogerere, which is a state-of-art food project in Uganda. I would also take this opportunity to welcome you to visit this facility, which is a state-of-the-art equipment, and President had opened this factory. We created this product. It's ready. I made a test with lowest to the highest level of people in this country, and everybody gave me 9.8 out of 10 marks. Honorable Victoria, you are a witness of that. After that, we have been in the process of improvising this recipe. And I'm glad to say, we have also come out with other variants, which is chapatis. Day before yesterday, and within this 3 weeks, within these 3 weeks, many high-level commissioners, permanent secretaries, ministers have visited Mama Care to test these products. Last was the Director General of Uganda Investment Authority, who visited us 3 days ago at the instance of State House. When he tested, he said, pack me also few for my family. This is where we are. We are here not to work in isolation, but at the instance of Honorable Victoria, we are here to work together with all of you. Mama Care is an entity which is a non-profit, but an industrial complex. We can test, we can make, we can try several product recipes. You all are welcome. We are not far. We are neighbors to UNBS headquarters in Bugarere. So we are just near to them. That's number one. Number two, with the equipment which we have, we can trial your recipes. And we can come out with some success. I want to repeat, I am a non-profit organization. It's not here to make profit. The whole concept of Mama Care is to make available, nutritious food to Uganda at no profit. This is my philanthropy to the country where I have lived for a few decades. And this is why 3 days ago, I put a tribute to Excellency that you are a father of the nation, and Mama Care is one of the gifts on Father's Day. And he has acknowledged. We are here to work together, create recipes, and make this function successful. Psfu, you have made a great initiative to organize this with MasterCard. We want yours and MasterCard's efforts to be successful. All of us here, we must work together. My secretary is going to give you my contacts. Let's, after this function, not get into our silos. Let's work together. I welcome you once again to Mama Care. Try out your recipes. We have ovens, mixers, and all the requirements which you would need. We have them. We shall do that. Honorable Victoria, Madam, we have brought very few because I came from a very disrupted function, but some of them can definitely look at them and test. There are very few. But please, more will be available very soon. Thank you very much. This is Mama Care.
Thank you very much. The products will be served so that everyone gets maybe a small piece and be able to taste. We'll request maybe the hotel to help us. Brenda, you may want to, as the expert in that area, you may want to help us, please. Thank you. Well, this discussion has been long, but I thought, and I still think it has added value. In 1 minute, we want to summarize everything and say, what should we go with? Madam Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. What I would like to mainly say, because I've pretty much said everything Kentucky is supposed to be doing and what we are looking forward to. We are as excited as all of you to be the pilots in this project of growing wheat in Uganda. I would like to thank PSFU, MasterCard Foundation. I would like to thank all the participants that are here today. We have Michaela's Oven, Wood Millers, the Iro Casa, Toke, everyone that has participated today. You've really changed, you've opened our eyes. We've seen things that we didn't expect to see in Uganda. I have, for one. I would like to thank Honorable Victoria. Thank you for bringing the warmth to our conference. It really, really takes us, with warmth to see that you lead us the way you're leading us. And of course, our leaders, the female leaders. Thank you so much, our CEO. It's very proud to see that we have a female CEO. Very much. Thank you so much. And of course, very welcome, Mama Care. We are going to utilize your services as in Turkey. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Alan. Madam, what could we go with today?
Thank you. I had so much to say, but Honorable said this is not a lecture room, so I had to really summarize my words. The biggest takeaway for me today has been the varieties, like Alan has mentioned. But I'm also trying to appeal to the farmers or to their leaders, not to just stop at these events, to go down there to get to know who you're selling to. The reason why I'm saying that is one of the things I organize something that is called Kampala Cake Fair, which is an annual event. But when you reach out to such people, they don't think it is that important to exhibit on such events. But yet when it is something like this, they will show up. So if we want to educate everyone, not just picking a particular market, you have to come down there and you see what people want. Like I said earlier, once the clients ask, we act. So that is very important. And the last thing that I would want to say is about when you're producing these recipes, someone there mentioned it, like when you're producing these products, Get a baker, get someone who is well versed with this, let them practice, so that when it comes out, when I buy and I say, no, it is not working for me, you have a recipe, you're like, have you tried this? Maybe do this, so that we can practice. That is very important, because I may taste something there, then I do it and it doesn't come out. I'll just give up. I'll just say, no, flour, this kind of flour isn't for me, let me stick to it. That is what I had to say. Thank you so much, PSFU. Thank you so much, Honorable CEO. This has been really mind-opening. I'm so excited. I can't wait to work with you more. Thank you.
And please invite the Private Sector Foundation to work with you on the cake fair.
I'm officially inviting the Private Sector Foundation to work with me, because we have the same goal here. Thank you.
To that. Professor, 1 minute, please.
Thanks. I think I'm going to re-echo again what I said earlier on, that I am a very happy man, a very, very happy man. This is the moment that I have been dreaming for since I started working on cassava for the last 40 years.
Wow.
And I have campaigned for cassava all over the world. But at last, the dream is coming true. So I want to urge everybody here and outside here that let's continue to work together. We can turn this crop into a white gold. This is the moment. What do we need to do? Let's be together. Let's have a cassava for wheat initiative, whose goal will be to develop and transform this commodity into a white gold. I know we can do it. When I look back 40 years ago, the whole thing looks impossible, but now I'm seeing it is possible. So let's do it. As me and as Africa Innovation Institute, we are prepared to champion this fight until we achieve cassava as a white gold. We must fix the supply chain. I do not see why Ntake, Farm Uganda, Windwood Millers, those farmer cooperatives down there, I cannot see why they cannot come together. If the Ministry of Agriculture is still sleeping, these guys can make it happen. If they are all together, they agree to support the farmers to increase productivity. They guarantee the farmers a market for their roots. And then the processors, Windwood Millers, Farm Uganda and all others, they buy all the roots, they process the quality that Ntake and the others need, they sell. Ntake and the others produce the bread of the quality that this country needs. That's how we're going to move. If the Ministry of Agriculture is still sleeping, we, the private sector, let's move. Let's move.
Thank you, Professor. Let us move. And the Private Sector Foundation is with you 100% on that. Thank you very much, our esteemed panel. Please, a round of applause. Wow, that was a kind of warm-up. All right, we have listened to this panel. We have another challenge which we have to sort out. And this time we're going to give another group of panelists to help us go through that challenge. So first and foremost, allow me to welcome Mr. Matano Kodawa of the Managing Director of Hot Loaf Bakeries Limited. And as Mr. Matano comes, may I inform us that I've just been informed as well by our communications specialist that we have actually 203 people already following us on YouTube. Wow. So cassava is becoming the in thing. As Mr. Matano makes himself comfortable, allow me to invite the director, TUA, Wanjira Kariuki Mulindwa. Please, you're very welcome, madam. CEO Oga. Is it Oga as in Nigerian Oga or our Oga? Oga. All right, you're very welcome, Madam Rebecca Mugwanya. This time we're going to be a bit squeezed because we have already warmed those chairs, so we need to move. I would like to welcome Professor Muzira Ivan, if he's. He had requested, I don't know whether he was able to make it, but he was a little bit caught up. And last but not least, we did have our Professor Florence Muranga turning up here, but we have an able substitute. Deputy Director, you may want to come and take your seat to that. So, wow, okay. I know the optics may not be the best, but okay, is Dr. Ebert Tukwase around? Makerere University? All right, okay. We will now proceed. Recall, as I said, this is the Private Sector Foundation. We are having a private sector discussion, but we have our partners on the other side. So please don't leave because, Professor, you have talked so much about policy. We have our colleagues, our partners on the government side who can also give us an insight. So please do not yet leave. All right. Wow. Distinguished members of this panel, you've seen the fire. People are very anxious. People are wondering what we are going to do about this very nice opportunity. We have been hearing about policy, we have been hearing about prices, we are hearing about volumes. Okay. Allow me to start with Deputy Director. First, you'll introduce yourself. We have mics. You'll introduce yourself, and as you introduce yourself, please help us understand this a little bit better. I know we have touched it in the area of cassava, but now we are expanding this thing. We have had the prices of cassava, and they have become an issue. Bread, bananas is where we are coming to you. What do we need to exploit the opportunities available in bananas as a substitute of wheat, for example? Introduce yourself first, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is called Bahati Joseph. I'm the Deputy Director of the Presidential Initiative on Banana Industrial Development. I'm partly a researcher, I'm a scientist, and now in management as a team leader. I've been with the organization since it started, and we have been actually focusing initially at the production of banana, increasing the yield from 5 metric tons to around 50 metric tons. And then we were able to, what motivated us actually to go into this banana industrial development was the immense post-harvest losses that the banana farmers were facing. And then we had to start this model of the banana value chain through an agro-processing industry, leveraging the information we had researched on, the information from other researchers within the country like Naro, internationally like from Israel, even the US, so that we can be able to give actually some benefit to our key stakeholders, the farmers. And all along we were been asking why substitute wheat, actually looking at the banana value chain. For us, our interest was looking at 3 areas. One was the income to the farmers, the cost of production versus the income. And of course that will lead if we export. The other area that banana was looking at was the health of banana. Because from the STI, where subvention of science, technology, and innovation, was looking at using banana for pharmaceutical starch. And we are going into this. And of course, looking at the health system, the bananas in terms of fiber, digestibility of the banana, we thought we had a role because banana has a lot of fiber. The other aspect that brings us into this as a banana value chain is to do with the why substitute. Of course, we substitute. In management, you can only substitute personnel because of performance. If performance is bad, you substitute. But now we are looking at this as a business because now we're going into a roadmap to commercialization. Of course, the previous one was talking about the profit margin, the cost versus the losses. And he was talking about the 1-to-4 ratio. For us, it is 1-to-10. For every 10 fresh, we get 1. And we were looking at a prime crop. So that motivated us into this and why we are talking about substitution. So what have we done so far? We have left the production. We have seen that we can increase production per unit. We have added value to some products. It is still ongoing. We have a product development unit. It is going on using the banana as a crop for various products, right from the leaves up to the stem, not necessarily focusing at the fruit. But for example, the fruit, other than getting the value, the food that we get out of it, we are using the peels for the phenolics, we are using the peels for biogas to generate heat for drying, and we are using the peels as fertilizer for organic production. Because the slurry we get from these peels, we plow them back to the farms and still productivity on the farm. So recently, as the Uganda said, when they talked about the cassava aspect, private sector foundation in Uganda, you need to help us here, was bringing the component. I know the emphasis has been, the chair, Honorable Secretary, was saying for the first timers to come to us. I thought I raised my hand. I think she didn't see me. But this is the first time, and there's a lot I'm learning from it. But in terms of going the cassava, we are trying, under our management, we are trying to put another line of cassava, drying of cassava, so that we can be able to blend matoke and cassava. But this will need, again, some research going on. So we have a line of banana purely, looking at the secondary and tertiary production, but we are investing more into the line of cassava. At the moment, we have done a lot of mapping on the banana, where we can get these bananas. But we want to also understand the mapping of how do we get this cassava. Through this workshop, I can see where the banana, the cassava, can be acquired from. The other aspect people talked about was through with the cooperatives. Of course, banana farmers, we wouldn't deal with them as individual farmers. It becomes very problematic to mobilize the raw materials. So we had to go into forming cooperatives. Cooperatives have been very fundamental in terms of mobilization of raw material, in terms of skilling them. Because one of the goal aim was, what is the pathway of real productivity. One was killing, one was increasing in terms of finances, in terms of and in terms of collectivity, collective action, so that people work association. So we have been able to form, as of now, 25 cooperatives in the greater Bushey where we are operating, and the advantages of working with cooperatives. So in addition to working with these cooperatives, we have been able to go ahead through our participatory rural appraisals and transit walks within the community, able to actually the farmers, because of the losses, that's what drove us, the post-harvest losses, is that farmers can be able to harvest matoke, and we are not able to go and collect these matoke from them. And immediately, you don't collect cassava, it goes through the senescence, the depreciation rate. So therefore, we are looking into establishing construction of state-of-the-art collection centers with washing bays and cold storage, so that in case we don't go and pick these matoke, then we can be able to store. Because this has been a problem, we say we are going to. There's a problem with the roads, we don't pick them the cooperatives, and they meet these losses. So we are going into constructing collection centers with information centers. With the information of the database, we can be able to link up with them and pick these raw materials for our processing. The other aspect we have gone to, I'm winding up, is the community processing unit. Of course, when you look at the carbon miles, look at the distance, even if you're going to collect matoke from Isinjiro and UNM, there is that distance. So we're looking at construction of community at local level, at cooperative level, a bit of drying, so that it is easier to move the chips than taking the raw material, the raw green banana. So this is what we have been able to do as a PBIT, and we appreciate the investment that the government put in this. We're leveraging with other researchers. We are working with getting information from universities, from NARU, so that we're able to perform better. And yes,
thank you very much, Mr. Bahat, and thank you for taking us through the journey. I really hope that going forward we can begin the commercial stage. Otherwise, we will not have the opportunities, but there is something you have for us.
We're already going that direction.
All right. Yeah. Mr. Matano.
Yes.
We have had the Casa story. We have had a roadmap of banana. And we are all hearing that even the banana initiative is kind of meandering into cassava. My question is, okay, now, this is an announcement I have to make. Being served is a cake made out of 100% cassava. It is coming, please just pass over the cake so that everyone can enjoy. Mr. From Mama Care, please, enjoy the cake. It is coming your way, 100%. So I'm sure, Farm Uganda, you're only smiling. That I like the business aspect. Mr. Matano, what do we need to generate more products which can replace wheat? What do we need? It's on.
My name is Matano. I'm the manager of Hotloaf Bakeries, actually managing partner of Hotloaf Bakeries. And my background is food processing. And of course, I've done quite a lot of research in application. So it's not too loud. Yeah, like I was saying, my strengths are food processing is my background in terms of the education, and then I did a lot of research on application of blending cereals with other composite flours I did a research on that to a master's degree. And the opportunity for us to, in application for those ones who are users, is all these products which are going to be developed by farm input and Winwood. We're partnering with, by the way, Hotloff Bakeries had a focus partnering with Winwood with a view to use cassava flour in all its products. And we've progressed quite a lot. We were complimented by Makerere University at some point, and I'm also to add what the gentleman Bhati has said is that I was also involved in the talk at the initial stage. We were doing research on application with Makerere University, so I've been around for quite a while on these matters. So it's possible for us, like you've seen if you like, the numbers from the quantities of imported wheat flour in this country, and for us who are in the application sector, which is basically the bakery and confectionery industry. And of course, other value addition projects, my brother there, we can be able to eat into this production of, rather import substitution up to 30, between 10 to 50% on average for variation, if you like, different type of products, because pastry will take less percentage, cake will take a lot of percentage, bread will be in the middle of the, so the opportunity will be in the range of 30% substitution, 20 to 30%, which if you look at the numbers which were given here by the experts, Psfu, you are looking at 200,000 metric tons per year. Broken down, average would be, say, 20,000 metric tons per month. I don't know whether you can handle that. Yes, in totality with everybody involved. But of course, we talk about growth. I think I come from Mombasa, I'm Swahili, so we have a saying in our culture that the death of the grasshoppers sometimes is a party for the crows. Eh? So this is an opportunity because if you look at the pandemic and going into the Russian-Ukrainian war, we must look at the upside because, of course, it has affected all of us, and us, especially in the bakery sector. Quite frankly, we are almost running out of business. We're doing so in terms of rising prices of wheat flour, which Alan can attest to because she's in both sides of the coin. And for us who are actually buying flour from the millers, because the difference between flour prices from January to, we're looking at 60%. It's a 60% increase. There is no way you are going to transfer that to the consumer. So we are running at 30 to 40% capacity. So it is a huge disaster, but we don't look at disaster in life. We look at the opportunity created by that downside. So basically at the application where I confine myself, the opportunity is we can absorb up to 2,000 metric tons if we collectively, because I'm looking at the statistics of imports and the capacity of the bakeries at the moment, the bakeries and the confectionery industry. So my challenge here is that this raw material is never available. So we can talk here until the chicken come home. Today I wanted 5 tons of cassava flour, do application, even for a month, I can get that flour. Today, as we speak. I'm challenging you. Can we give 5 tons of flour with cassava flour today? Up to 6 o'clock. I'll bet you 10 million from my pocket.
Mr. Allow me to interject.
Thank you.
Just a small thing. Mr. Matano approached us, said, can you help us get the flour? I think we have called a number of you to supply the flour. Colleagues, as professors, let's get together. This opportunity will run away from us and we will go crying. Mr. Matano, we pledge to continue requesting that you get the flour. And so Allen, my namesake, Madam Allen, we pledge to keep on struggling until you get that. Please.
Thank you. But I must commend this gentleman. I think he's a good businessman, because I didn't know until today, but I called him on Friday last week, and I requested for samples. He had them in our factory yesterday at 2 o'clock. I think that's a kudos. That's kudos for you. This is the quickest I got it from as a sample request. Thank you very much. Yes. Because this is not to underscore our partnership with Winwood and continuing, but I think here I'm talking on general terms in terms of the opportunities. And back to my long-term friend, Vicky. If there's anybody who has made a lot of noise about this value chain business, I think Victoria will take the medal. The gold one, the gold medal. So I'm glad that I've not seen her for close to maybe 20 years, and I'm seeing her today, and I think this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, so I'll dwell on the application part, like I've said, and I think I've said a lot in terms of, there's a lot which has been said, quite frankly. For me, I'm a user. I'm a scientist in the sense that I understand exactly what to do in terms of blending and processing. The outcome, to influence the outcomes, of course, the researchers need to come up with a bit more technical input, because what I have, because I've done Amsterdam, and there is need for, say, to be able to, when you substitute starch, if you like cassava starch or millet starch or toke starch with wheat flour, you might, where you'll need volume on it, because cake doesn't, it's leavened using baking powder, which is, we call it chemical leavening. But when it comes to yeast, you might need a strengthener, because most of the starch in those, if you like, those cereals or those, cassava and toke will not have stretchable gluten. So you might need enzymes, which are basically biological enhancers of the aerating process in a loaf of bread. So those inputs now will come from the research institutes like the university. I think NARO does much more on growing, but the ones who do the industrial application. And there are also people who import, of course, these enzymes. They're dosed in terms of parts per million, so they're not huge quantity inclusions. But for me now, who has been involved in both the big conversation with people who are doing all these flours of cassava, millet, sorghum, toke, is that we are ready in the industry. And for Vicky, I think, like somebody said, when the Minister of Agriculture is speaking, let the private sector take over and drive this initiative. Psfu, has been a fantastic godsend in terms of being able to get us together. And we are saying we can use it. Somebody's saying you can grow it. Somebody is saying you can process it. So really, we shouldn't come out of here today and give these stories 6 months down the line. Yes. Wow. I thank you very much for now. Thank you very much.
Mr. Matano, you made a whole thing up. So you have the growers. You have the bakers. What is stopping us from doing this thing? It is our own selves. Now, I have just one element. I want to announce, please. Keep tasting. There is here now 100% chapati made out of cassava. Please pass these things over. Let them not go out of here with, and it looks like wheat. I don't know what they did to it, but this is tasty, please.
Maybe just for me to put a very quick half a minute, is that this is just an idea that Psfu is hosting a lot of projects. We're here and we have seen the players are very diverse in terms of their businesses and in terms of their, I think you might have from this meeting, you might have to put together a nucleus, a backbone of a driver of this initiative to the next level. Because I think, quite frankly, doing a fantastic job, but I think you're hosting a lot of projects at the same time. I'm also a beneficiary of one of your projects. Thank you very much. But then there will be need for a focus group, which can be able to, we have meetings as from next week with these guys processors, or Winwood as processors, us as application people, and the intermediaries like Kentucky millers, Kaswa flour, you know. And then we can be able to drive this real quick, because we're all interested. Me, I'm paying on the pricing of flour. They are paying because of, somebody else is paying because the farmer is not getting enough. So there we are. We must do a very fast-tracking process of achieving something out of this meeting. Otherwise, the talk will never stop.
So let us commit on this. Here, with the projects, we are also here with our policy wing. And we are also here inadvertently with our membership wing. And we can commit that go forward through our vice chair, the one who is spearheading this, that we are not going to stop here until this is done.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Allow me also.
Winwood Millers. Exactly why are you producing so little? Can you say it in 2 words? What is you? Why can't you, like tomorrow, say now the market is there? Right now you do not have. So Mr. Matano is supposed to wait until next year? Oh my God. Oh, okay, we have had the farm Uganda. Can you double your production immediately? What is at least the minimum that you can commit to immediately?
I cannot double my production at the moment because 60% I use manual. From uprooting, to peeling, to washing, only chipping and the dryer. The rest I handle manually. So if I can have organization, I have admired the talk peeling. If I can have the talk, it is elevated or an elevator to the washing point. The washing point is elevated to the chipper. Then why not to increase the production? But I still on manual method of handling the process.
Okay, like Mr. Matano is suggesting, I think we need a focus group to sit next week. Why do we need next week? Because we, PSFU, don't know a thing. We are giving you time, you the ones who are on the ground, to exactly what you want done and how you want it done. So when you come, you are sure. For us, our job is to, we are like the midwife, but the ones pushing the kid.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice. Madam Mulin, the question I was going to pose, all I want to pose, is being preempted by what we are hearing. Because the question was, apart from the flour, what else is in this cassava thing that we can do? However, now I'm hearing, even when we know that, we may not have enough. But okay, can we at least...
First, I'll introduce myself and what TUA does. My name is Wanjira Kariuki Mulindwa, and TUA is an agro-processing company that is based in Lira that actually processes fresh cassava roots mechanically. So we, when the tuber delivered to us, we have the machines to to remove the soil and then wash it and peel it, chip it, and then dry it mechanically. But that said, we are 2.5 years old. These 2.5 years, we built the factory, imported the machines, and installed it, yeah? People say that sometimes that since I was invited in this forum on behalf of young people in processing of cassava, people say that as in young people are innovative, but they're not innovative because it's out of necessity. So for us, these last 2 years, we went online and looked for open source IP for the machines that can do this processing of cassava fresh roots, and then got the IP from China, then looked for a company that actually can fabricate the machine in the found one in Kenya, run by a young person also, who was willing to take the chance to also do the machine, yes, because the alternative is to import very expensive machines from China. So apart from the drying, which is the machine from China, all our machinery is manufactured in Africa and installed, and the factory was built by a young civil engineer in Lira. So that's our background. Now, what is lacking in this value chain? Yeah? I think also you can say, speaking from a young person perspective, is that while we have time, we also don't have time. Like it's a catch-22, is that what they say? That if for this information can be collected, where Farm Uganda has gone and Windwood Millers, and also I would like to thank the or team, that when we were doing our primary and secondary research, we relied heavily on the work that you have put out there, and we have never met. And in this forum, now I can put a face. I can put a face to you, I can put a face to Farm, I can put a face to Windwood Millers. I know the late Ivan just through the internet, and I didn't meet him. And I'm just starting this journey. So for us, what is important, and I would think of the many young people coming behind us, is that if this information can also be put in an organized way. Not many people have the courage to go and look at open source machinery and say that we're going to import it and we're going to work with local engineers to make this machine. So it's quite, it takes courage, but we also leaned heavily on our education with my business partner there, Angela Mureithi. So I think that's one of the things, that first putting the information together so that it can be accessible, and I've organized in a way, I have a few notes, we can pass it on in the relevant forum.
Allow me to wear the difficult hat of my vice chair. How much?
How much?
Is the capacity? What is the capacity of production?
It's not a lot, it's 3 tons per day. And at the
day?
Yes.
Of fresh or dry?
Of?
Fresh, dry.
Of dried cassava chips.
That's 12 tons per day.
Okay, 12 tons per day.
Yeah.
Fresh. We need to have this discussion.
We are waiting for commissioning from Umeme.
You're driving my chair insane.
Yes, that's also one of the things that we can, even as simple as having standard operating procedures of our stakeholders as in telling us that, say, commissioning of a plant can take 1 to 60 days. Like, you know?
Madam.
60 days.
2 months. Wow. Okay, Madam Namugwanya is already infusing herself into this conversation, and I would like to give you an open check. Please introduce yourself and infuse yourself into this discussion. Please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, once again, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Namgwanya Rebecca Wuro, and I'm a processor of zero wheat flour. We have a challenge, I think Ash talked about it, that we need to start with transforming the minds of Ugandans. That when you say baking with either blended with wheat or without wheat, people have a tendency to think that it is not tasty. Apparently, before I got into the space of adding value to what we already have, I realized that everything that was on the market was terrible. Even what we thought was the best imported, the taste tasted terrible, probably because of the land. I think in Uganda we have the best land. I can assure you that those of you who have tasted from our flour can agree that it is, you cannot believe it's not wheat. The biggest challenge we have is to educate. Private sector, we need you in this space. Until you tell somebody that, you know, you can have everything you need that wheat does, people don't believe. I have a friend who used to have a saying that, why go to Sokoto to get a Sokoto when you have your own Sokoto? Why do I have to go to Ukraine to get what I can make here in Uganda? Apparently, one thing I've learned with blending the flours, I know there is a lot that is being said about cassava, but with gluten baking or adding gluten and non-gluten, it is very important that we learn the art of blending the flours. And this gives an opportunity to each one. I've learned that sorghum, matoke, did you know that you don't even have to throw away the banana peels are the most nutritious on the banana. Banana peels, matoke blended. So it is very important that first, we sensitize. Two, we need professionals to come in to educate, because I can't do much. Everybody asks me, how do you do this flour? I can't. We need help. So that the flour that is made, the bakers like the Ashers and the Antakis don't be like, I can't take this flour because it will not give me